Okay, let's get the vitals out of the way.
The what?
The vitals.
Oh, the vitals.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, what's the name on the birth certificate?
Michael Kiernan McNevin.
Kiernan.
Kiernan's my middle name. Irish.
Irish.
Yeah.
And the place?
Born San Mateo, California.
So tell us about your music education. Where'd you get your training?
Well, I was self-taught on guitar for 4 years. I was about 14 when my dad's guitar was sitting in the corner. Nobody played it, including him. He bought it in San Diego and never learned to play it. And it had been sitting around the house most of my life. And I picked it up one day, and my brothers and I would all pick it up and put it on the lap for a few minutes and pluck the strings. And then I looked in the bottom of the case one day, and I saw a Mel Bay book down in the bottom, and on the back of the book there was a bunch of pictures of chords. And I thought, that's all you got to do to play the thing, is just put your fingers where the dots say to put them. So there was no theory involved, and I probably learned, I learned the first 10 chords probably in a month or two, and then kept playing, and then teaching myself songs, learning from some friends who knew some rock and roll licks. And by the time I was 16, I bought my first electric, and I had taken 2 months of lessons from a jazz guy, and just kept going on from there and got into a rock band. I was always into the Gordon Lightfoot that my dad was playing and the Paul Simon that was on the radio. Those are major influences. Richie Havens was on the turntable a lot. Ray Charles, Mose Allison. The old Elton John stuff, Yellow Brick Road. My brother John played piano. I should probably not leave him out. He was playing piano in the house when I was younger, and I could play a couple things on the piano. And by the time I was 18, I was playing lead in a garage band. We were playing AC/DC. And
Now you took some
UFO was my favorite band. I learned a lot of solos playing Michael Schenker, the Scorpions guitar player. I learned to play lead from him.
You took some actual theory and formal music training a little later on. Though,
I did. Yeah, so here I am playing all this electric stuff, always really into the acoustic as well.
Right.
And I started writing songs when I was in college. My first year of college, I wrote my first song. And I was studying, I almost dropped out. In the second year of college, I decided I needed to do something I cared about. So I studied classical guitar for a year with a guy named Jim Bertram, really great guy. And he got me playing with my nails, my fingernails, and more elaborate finger picking that you can ever do is classical guitar. It's the hardest guitar style to master, in my opinion. I lasted a year in that program, and I learned to read okay. I was not great. It took me a lot longer than other people to finish the homework because I wasn't very, literal reading, but I worked really hard at it, got A's and B's, and then I went on to study some fiction and acting. I actually took a course and a year of that to performing arts.
When do you think you got serious about songwriting?
Well, I think I was always serious about it. I did 1 year where I was really light on the courses, and I played a bar gig for 8 months, a place called the Brass Door. And I had been writing in college about a song a month, none of which, those songs I don't play anymore. They're all beginner songs in a way. Some people come out of the box writing pretty good songs. I think I took a while to figure it out. I did a lot of rhyming and wrote a lot of songs with those rhymes, but I didn't really know what I was going to say or why most of the time.
So I think a lot of us, a lot of those songs you've forgotten, and some of you've chosen to forget. But
yeah,
what would you say was your first keeper?
First keeper, actually, I don't know if I could remember how to play it. It was called Castaway. I dropped out of. I played this bar gig 4 hours a night, 3 nights a week for 8 months. So I went from knowing about 20 songs to 250 covers. So I was writing in the, I learned a lot, but I also, really worked my voice and my fingers to death. And studying classical was also real hard. So I just, I got this chance to live in New York City, in Jersey City. And I moved to Jersey City for 6 months, and I played the streets in Manhattan. So I'm 22, and I don't recommend anybody here to drop out of college. That's what I did. And I went to Greenwich Village and played Folk City. I was 21 or 22 years old. And I think that experience opened me up as a writer. I started writing about real stuff. Castaway was just a story song about my buddy and I going fishing on the bay before I left. Conversation between us. And shortly after that, I got thrown in jail for jumping over a turnstile in the subways, going from Jersey City to Manhattan to play. And that became a song called Jersey Jail.
Do you remember it?
I do. I could play it. I will play it for you. Now that you want to hear about my stupid youth, sure, I'll play it for you. I got to say this: there's no excuse for what I did. I'm not making excuses for it. People think this is an anti-authoritarian song, you know. It's not. It's just me telling what happened. Oh, this might get. Let me move the. Where's that little? Here, just make sure that doesn't get. This is called Jersey Jail. I had no time or change to spare. The train was pushing that tunnel air. You know it's in the station when the warm wind comes a-rushing in. So I took my chances and I jumped the stile. The camera saw me and a subway cop came after me. He had a rookie badge and a baby face. He couldn't wait to take me in. He said, you're gonna spend the night in a Jersey jail for the 80 cents you owe the rail. Well, he cracked a smile and he cuffed my hands and he led me into a paddy van. I wasn't alone. They had their day with 7 more like me who didn't pay. All but one were from Mexico, and the native tongue was all they spoke. If they had their rights, well, they wouldn't know. And it's off to Journal Square we go to spend the night in a Jersey jail for the 80 cents we owe the rail. Trouble with authority, blame it all on poverty. They know what to do with me, a lesson in humility. Living here under the gun, I don't know when to walk or run. Where's the money coming from? Well, these are my priorities. Now 7 hours is quite a spell to wait around in a holding cell, but you can sure enjoy yourself. A strip search and fingerprints, this and more for 80 cents. So this happened to me a long time ago. This is a pretty old song. A number of years later, I was touring back east, and I don't play in New Jersey much, and you'll find out at the end of the song why I probably shouldn't. But I thought I was safe. I was in Pennsylvania, just over the Jersey border. I played this song, and at the end of the show, a Jersey cop came up to me. He said, you know, I could take you in. So I gave him a CD because they're really easy to bribe. And my mom read an article in the Associated Press about a woman in Buffalo, New York, that this happened to as well. And this happened to her later on. And times had changed by then. She was strip searched, thrown in jail, for jumping over a turnstile. And so she sued the Buffalo police for $900,000. I got a song out of it. She got $900,000. So I sent her a CD too. Sent her lawyer one too. Never heard back. Can't blame you for trying though. That night I slept in an issue blanket with my stomach empty and a wooden mattress. Bars around me, right or wrong. 4 a.m. time to move along. And at court the next day they fined me 60. They sent me on my way, but I left New Jersey, haven't paid it yet, and I never will. I paid enough for the overkill when I spent the night in a Jersey jail for the 80 cents I owe the rail.